what I love about my job as a senator, one of the things is you get to learn if you really want to engage and want to be involved, you get to learn about anything you want to get to learn about. Any professional or expert in any field is usually just one phone call away. It helps me be a better business person too, by the way. If I'm sitting in the room with the governor and the Senate president and they're listening to my suggestions on things, that's an amazing feeling. But it also gives me the confidence to be successful in my business as well.
Welcome to the In the Arena podcast. My name is Jared Miguez, a co-host on this podcast that brings you the inspiring stories of our clients who are leaders and innovators across different industries in Southeast Louisiana. They are visionary entrepreneurs, savvy real estate professionals, media creators, military business owners, and community champions. And we are going to showcase the remarkable achievements and share their personal stories. Tune in for insightful conversations, valuable lessons, and motivational stories that are going to reveal their secrets to success and offer you insights to help you on your own path. Welcome to In the Arena podcast. All right, so welcome to the In the Arena podcast. We've got Patrick McMath, local state senator in Louisiana, and hometown guy from North Shore, Covington, Louisiana. Right, Covington?
Yeah,
from Covington. Okay. I know that
St. Tammany man.
Well, I mean, I'm as St. Tammany as you get. I was born in Slidell. I grew up in
Wait, where were you born?
Slidell.
All right. Got the W.
Grew up in Old Mandeville and married a girl from Covington who she's like the Covington you think you need a passport to get to anywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
And I think it's important to say that you are also a business owner, and you were a business owner and a lawyer before you became a senator and ultimately got into politics. And this is your way of giving back, but you're still very big and a part of the business community here. And we know that personally because the furniture in our office was the furniture.
This is good looking stuff.
Yeah, that from your place, and y'all did
You'll find a way to fit a small space real well. That Slidell office was impressive. They delivered that living room furniture. And
We've got good people that work for us.
Yeah. And so, but we're a St. Tammany-based company, and this podcast is to support St. Tammany Parish. So before we get into anything else, tell us what St. Tammany Parish means to Patrick and his family.
Oh man, it's home. It always has been home, and it always will be home. We've got 4 kids. We're raising them here. We love it here. It's serving in the Senate. A number of my friends are from all other portions of the state, and I love bringing them here. And they get to stay at the Southern Hotel, or we go to some cool restaurants in Old Mandeville, go on the river, ride the Trace, and they're like, this is not like anywhere else in the state. You realize Yes, I do.
You're welcome.
I'm very proud of it.
That's right.
So I mean, I grew up in Alexandria, went to LSU, went to Loyola, New Orleans, and I lived here. And so I've kind of migrated around.
Yeah, you've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great place. And I went back to Alexandria last weekend to go visit my family, and it's just anxious to get back here. From the people, young to more older people, everybody here in the community is it's a positive environment, and it's a good community. Everybody supports everybody. We just interviewed some people from Slidell that weren't from here, and they feel the same way because they come here and it's like, this is home. They're passionate about being here too.
We should be proud of all things St. Tammany and the North Shore.
Amen. Always. I love it.
So let's talk about your business before we get into politics. Because we talked a little politics, and we have another video about some of the bills you're pushing. But from a business standpoint, tell us about the furniture company and the goals and everything y'all are doing with that.
Yeah, so my business partner, Andrew McKeever, and I, we own a company called Southern Interior Solutions, SIS, and we're a commercial furniture dealers and an interior design firm. And so
sounds fancy.
Yeah, it's actually a really fun business. Didn't expect to be in it, quite honestly. I grew up in and around the commercial construction.
Design.
Home construction, yeah. And actually, full disclosure, I loved going. My mom was an interior designer, and I'd love going with her to, pick out flooring and colors and stuff. I mean, as from a little kid, when I still step on a job site, for particularly new home construction, I instantly are brought back to my childhood. because my dad would take me to work with him all the time, and it was job sites,
That's how I grew up as well.
Yeah, so it's easy to do that in St. Tammany, right?
Y'all have a very similar background. I don't know how much y'all know her dad.
Commercial construction, though,
Commercial
versus
construction
residential.
in Slidell, so very similar backstories. And her dad took her to business and threw her in business early too.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, and my dad made the transition into commercial construction as well. It's primarily what he does now, but didn't really, never thought that I'd be in a commercial furniture dealer. But Jane and I, we kept having kids, and I couldn't get a raise, quite honestly. And so
Gotta feed those kids.
Yeah.
Healthy food.
That's right, healthy food. But we needed to, so yeah, we had to come up with something. And I will say this: so we started SIS. Andrew and I did. He was also working for the construction company at the time. Also couldn't get a raise, and so about 7 years ago, we started this as sort of a side hustle. And the more we started doing projects, the more we realized like there's a good market here. There was very, very little, if any, real competition on the north that was representing the North Shore. There's a couple of really big players, and we felt like there was an opportunity to get into this market, and so we got one really large job, Empirical. If you're familiar with it, we did that project. That was a multi-million-dollar interior design, furniture, modular walls, the whole thing. That project allowed us to make a couple of good hires. We brought on Melissa Edmonds. She's awesome. She's been with us really since day one, from when we got real serious. And now we've got 4 interior designers. We're looking to hire a few more. We've got an office manager, a full install team. It's been so much fun building your own business. I absolutely love it. My role is in the business development side of things. So I'm sort of the 30,000 foot. This is the idea I have, or we should go after these potential clients in this industry, that industry. And Andrew he's the guy that keeps it on the rails, particularly when I'm in session too, up in Baton Rouge. So, it's a wonderful marriage. I like to say he's, outside of Jane and my kids, he's probably the most important person in my life. Because, what he's really good at, I'm terrible at. What I'm really good at, he doesn't want to do. And so
it's funny. I asked him to come talk on the podcast in this conversation.
Yeah.
He's like, absolutely.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. You need some more furniture?
Yeah, that's right. He's probably grinding away right now in the office. I have tried to encourage him to,
because he is a great person to talk to.
Yeah,
he's a wonderful guy.
Yeah, I mean, me and you have been friends for a long time. We went to really undergrad together, but me and Andrew have become friends to the point that, like, if I have a question about business or advice, then I'll call him and he'll sit down and clear a schedule and talk about it. But he sees it from a different lens than I do. It's very analytical. He's a numbers guy. He wants to know that the details are all buttoned up and you have a plan. And so it's good to just have somebody that you can bounce ideas off of. And I mean, I have that with my partners too. It's invaluable, and it's a testament to y'all's humility to know that he's got my back, and I'm not going to stay I'm going to stay at his lane. I'm going to stay in mine.
And we were talking about that the other day. He and I, later at night when kids are in bed, or Sunday mornings or something when everyone's still asleep, we'll have these just sort of personal discussions. What's working, what isn't, and we were talking just a few days ago about the trust that he and I, that we have for one another. Like, if he needs me to make a phone call, or I need him to work with the bank on something, it's going to get done, and the peace of mind that brings you, knowing that your partner is just as invested, business partner, life partner. I mean, really, it's anything. It's a marriage essentially. It's a blessing to have someone like that in my life, and I hope he would say the same thing. By the way, I think I convinced him to come on the podcast this morning. He's like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I was like, just talk about the things you know about. You have stuff to offer. So I think you'll get him.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Well, and the best part when that you have that feeling when somebody is as committed as you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, especially from a partnership standpoint, like if you're going into business with somebody and you haven't vetted them, like y'all work together and y'all have known each other since y'all were kids, right? Y'all been friends for a long time. And then you worked at your dad's company and y'all have known the type of people that each other are. And then once you get that commitment from somebody else and you know that I might make a mistake or I might be a difficult person to deal with, but they're fully committed to me and where I'm at, and they're committed to their responsibilities, I'm committed to mine. You can only
win.
You can make
only win.
Yeah, you can.
And you drive each other too. You don't want to now I know this guy's relying on me. I better not let him down. And a great example, we had a very, very busy session schedule last year up in Baton Rouge. We had 2 special sessions and then a 3.5 month long regular session. And by the time mid-June rolled around, I hadn't seen my kids in a while. Like, I wanted to reintroduce them. But at the same time, I hadn't been in the office. But I went and we took an extended vacation out to Montana. We're out there for about 3 weeks. But the whole time I was there, I was working, generating business, generating contacts, that kind of thing. And Andrew never questioned it. It didn't bug him at all, but because he knew that we spoke every morning for multiple hours a morning. I mean, that's how I started my day with him. Mountain time, he's in Central. But it was the most productive that I've actually ever been from a business development standpoint, because I wanted to earn, me being there, right, and not let him down. And so, when you have a partner that relies on you and you rely on him, and you just constantly are driving each other.
Intentional. That's what a lot of people that knew me in the past, because I've run my own firm and I was kind of in a comfortable spot when I got introduced to Jared, and they're like, why are you doing this? And like, I have no other way of explaining it other than we're the same level of crazy. Like, I use that phrase all the time. Like, there's a standard or an expectation that sometimes people bring into a room, and it's rare to find that, right? You're usually the one that's exhausted pushing it. And so I'm like, oh crap. Like, he's that same level of crazy. Now, collectively, people probably want to kill us as well. And then naturally we get like, why are y'all arguing? We're like, we weren't arguing. Like, we were just talking really passionately, very loudly.
No, we'd probably get to the end faster if we would actually yell and argue, but that would freak other people out. So we do that.
Scare everyone here. We would be fine. But.
Yeah. and I want to bring a little bit more of a clarity around what y'all actually do. Like, when you think about furniture, it's not like you're serving like the stuff that you go get at Home Depot, or like, no, y'all, like the quality of furniture that y'all offer and the things. And it would be fun to me too to be able to walk into a space and be like, I got some bad ass stuff we're gonna put in here. It's gonna look awesome. Like when people walk in our office, like they walk in, they're like, this is awesome vibe in here, and the way that y'all match the vibe of what we were looking for and have the quality stuff, because there's not one piece of furniture in this building that doesn't work, and we bought it 3 years ago and we use a what out of it, so like y'all have good quality, good looking stuff that lasts a really, really long time.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we rep over 90 brands. Most all of them are produced right here in the United States and in Canada, but mostly between North Carolina, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and Ohio, and Texas now.
No tariff issues.
Yeah,
That's a big deal in the construction world.
Yeah, we're navigating that. But we rep some really cool stuff. We have all open lines. So in the furniture business, you've got clotheslines and open lines. Clotheslines is a bit of an older model. I think it's you can only have so many dealers that are in, or really one dealer that's in a geographic area, and open lines are they're open, right? So any dealer can carry any of those brands, and the quality is really has caught up with the clotheslines. Used to be like the best, and the gulf between the clotheslines and open lines from a quality standpoint was wide. It is not that way anymore. You cannot, all the furniture that you guys have in this very beautiful office came from open lines, and they're just as good, if not better, than the clotheslines, because there's a level of competition, I guess, that you have there.
Can I make that clear? I think from a layperson standpoint or a business owner standpoint, the conference room tables that we have downstairs were made from a guy in Monroe that has a shop at his house. Right. And so like, y'all sell his line now. Right. And so like that, like we made that connection with them for you guys. It was one of John's friends from high school, and he now produces a lot of desks and tables and chairs, desks and tables, and y'all rep their brand.
We pick up. We carry a number of kind of artisan lines that are pretty cool and have been very popular and can withstand the test of time. And so, another advantage I think from what we do from an open line standpoint is we're not pushing the one manufacturer that we carry on our client. We have a tremendous amount of options, and we work with the client, the end user, to figure out what it is they want. I mean, we help them, our interior designers sort of guide them in one way or the other, but it's a better business model from an end user standpoint too, I think.
She always talks about from a legal standpoint that if you go to a law firm that's going to nickel and dime you or charging an astronomical amount of money for your services, it almost inhibits business, right? And so from a business owner standpoint that wants to buy a new building, one of the biggest expenses you're going to have is going to be the upfront cost of furnishing it. And so if you have one line and it's an astronomical amount of money, it might limit your ability to be able to invest in that building just because everything's super expensive. So if having a variety, I'm sure, helps with the budgeting for businesses too.
No, it does. And we've taken this and run with it, and we're one of the. I would argue at this point we must be the fastest growing commercial furniture dealer in the state. We'll do double what we did last year, and we did double what we did the year before that. We're on a really great growth trajectory. We're hiring folks. Again, it's been so much fun to grow your own business, and the more we dig into it, the more we realize, like, I can't tell you how many times Andrew and I'd run into his office and be like, hey, this is a great business to be in. There's such tremendous opportunity.
The side hustle really worked out.
That's right.
High five.
It is now paying all the bills.
But you keep saying, you keep bringing it back to growing the business. And that's just what I love when I see a local Louisiana business doing that, is you get to keep reinvesting in our local community. You keep saying, I'm hiring people, I'm bringing here, you're providing more opportunity, because there's one thing to get a business started and to have your element of success because you're good at what you do, but to have the discipline to continue to reinvest so that it's, helping everybody in our community. That's important.
No, and you bring up a great point. We're actually in the process right now of constructing a new office in downtown Covington, part of a big mixed use project in right there.
The building.
What's that?
They're going to operate out of that building.
We're going to operate out of that building.
Good.
Yeah, on the second floor above a really great future restaurant that's coming as well.
I'm ready.
So,
I like to eat healthy food.
Healthy food. Andrew and I, in addition to the furniture, at SIS, our new side hustle now that our day job is SIS, we do real estate development, in and around the Southeast. So
I have one more question about the business side of it, and this is important to Lauren because her dad made such a big impact on her life. How was your childhood and your relationship with your dad? How did that impact you from a business standpoint?
I would say, he certainly had an impact. My grandfather also had an impact. He was a developer in the Slidell area. Pat Miramon, God rest his soul, super amazing guy. He actually taught my father everything that he knows in terms of real estate development, and so I guess third generation absolutely had an impact. I got to be around some pretty hardworking people.
That's how I would describe your dad. Every time you see him, he's straight to the point, hardworking. But I mean, Mr. Dave's the same way.
Yeah,
very hardworking.
I'm sure he just grinds and he'll never stop. My dad's at the office now. He's there on Sundays. It's just what he loves to do. And I didn't appreciate it fully growing up until I needed to provide for my family. And you learn, what it takes to be able to do that. And so
a lot of those conversations of, I'm the only kid that has to, I'm the only one that has to.
Right.
And now I'm like, thank you for making me the only one.
And I think it shows me a lot about St. Tammany Parish, because if your dad both of y'all's dads have been doing that, doing the right thing and working really hard their whole lives and become successful. And people ask me all the time, is St. Tammany Parish a hard place to break into? Looking at 9 years in, it doesn't seem like it was very difficult, but all I try to do is work really hard and do the right thing.
You just
And
fit in.
Yeah. I just think that if you have that mentality, you're going to add value, work really hard and do the right thing. This is a great place for you to start a business.
I take this and apply it to just about anything I can think of from a business standpoint. It was a piece of advice that my grandfather gave me. And he said, Patrick, if you want to be successful in this country, you figure out something that people need. You provide a good service at a competitive price. It's not complicated. That is our model at SIS.
It's a business plan right there.
Yeah, that's it. It's really 1 + 1 + 1 really does equal 3 there. And so, everybody needs furniture. There's an opportunity to add competition, from a local company at a competitive price with good service, install and maintenance and follow up. And that has been our blueprint for the last several years, and it's working.
That was our goal with Arena. I like to dub it as we deal with Main Street businesses, not Wall Street businesses. Because you tell people small business, it's almost insulting, right? They're not thinking, oh, everything generating less than 100 million is a small business. That's not where their mind goes. They think of a mom and pop. But, honestly, we're dealing with a lot of those businesses. They're generating great amount of money, but it's difficult for them to have representation that comes out of New Orleans that's sophisticated enough to know what we know and how businesses can move forward. And there was just so many lawyers that I, encountered that they stifle business. They didn't look at the practical application of how can we solve this problem. It was always, here's this legal solution that costs X amount of money and it wasn't helping businesses grow. So same thing. We were like, oh, wait, there's a need. Let's fill it, right? And let's do it to where businesses can grow together.
Yeah, I love y'all's model. It's one of the few, and a bunch of friends that are lawyers are probably going to, give me some crap for this. But typically, traditionally, it seems like lawyers have gotten in the way
all the time.
And it doesn't, that's not how you guys
I was in-house for 7 years for a global corporation. I think that's where that perspective came from. Not only did I grow up where my mom and dad owned their own businesses, they made me run my own business when I was in high school. And so I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit. And so I get to law school thinking I'm being equipped with all these tools to help business. And it's not how it panned out. And I'm at these big firms and they're just stopping business, causing more problems than they're actually fixing. And so it's I always tell people, I'm a lawyer, but I'm an entrepreneur. Put me together, right? I want to be the entrepreneur first, and then I can help you with your legal problems on the back end, because we do acquisitions all the time. And sometimes I got to get them on the phone, you're not wrong, but let's really talk about how this is going to play out. Is there really a risk here? Let's make this happen.
It's amazing what happens when you don't have to justify your existence, and you get to, this is where I need to be. So let's go get there. That is probably your father, my father, intuition speaking within us right there. Yeah.
So I want to talk about your political career and what you're doing now, what your goals are. But before we do, let's just transition there. How much of an impact being a business owner in this area does that make on your political career? I imagine that it gives you a perspective that somebody who may not be a business owner in politics wouldn't have. And from a voter standpoint, knowing that I'm voting for somebody who also has a vested interest in the well-being of their business being here makes a huge difference for me, but who I would want to support.
Well, you want to see, so in SIS, right? We are directly affected by economic development that is going on within this state, within this region. If people are not building new buildings,
you're not filling them.
Right? Or they're not, they're not have the capital to redesign. They're not buying furniture, right? And so I have a vested interest in the economic development portion of not just this state, but the region. And so being in Senator Donahue, who I was the senator from the 11th district before I was, and he's president of Donahue Favre, a very, very successful, large commercial construction company. He had a saying, if you want to be in business, you need to be involved in politics. Now, maybe to the extent of actually running for office, maybe not. For most people, you have to have a calling to serve. But they go hand in hand, What I love about my job as a senator, one of the things is you get to learn if you really want to engage and want to be involved, you get to learn about anything you want to get to learn about. Any professional or expert in any field is usually just one phone call away, and that's pretty cool. It helps me be a better business person too, by the way. If I'm sitting in the room with the governor and the Senate president and very successful, very powerful businessmen, and they're listening to my suggestions on things, that's an amazing feeling. But it also gives me the confidence to be successful in my business as well.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you're gonna listen to me, the governor is gonna listen to me, then I
got this.
Yeah.
So from a politician's standpoint, having all those people, I know we've been in the car. We were driving the Causeway a couple months ago, and you had like 5 phone calls, and I was enjoying just listening to the conversations. But you were talking you were really talking to experts. Those people that were calling you, giving you insight on different things. I forget what you were talking about, but it was something that you were trying to make a decision and they were giving you advice on it, right? And so I thought that was really cool. And you always wonder, you get the politicians that vote on all areas of healthcare to business to all these different things, infrastructure, and y'all are making decisions on all this. It's good to know, or it's interesting to know that y'all have these resources at your disposal to be able to make those decisions.
Yeah, you have to be informed to make the best decision you
you're
can.
Not just
for
walking
the
up
people.
there with your little stick and poking your little button to make
right. Some people do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people do that.
Gives me chest pains.
But we've got a lot of great people in the legislature that I think genuinely do want to understand and learn, and be informed so that they can represent their constituency the best they can. That translates to the business side. I am so much more confident as a business owner now, and quite honestly more efficient. We get pulled in 1,000 different directions a day. And I'm like, don't even want to pick up my phone because we've been talking for 45 minutes and God knows how many text messages and phone calls I've missed. But you have to compartmentalize. You have to learn how to be efficient, and that helps. That has helped me and translated into my business life as well.
So you talked about the healthcare bill, which is important because you're trying to champion some things. You're the chair of the healthcare committee, health and welfare. So you're trying to do some things to make Louisiana a healthier state for sure, which I think is foundation for the next 50 years with our kids growing up, making sure they're healthy too. Is there anything else that y'all are pushing right now that's important for you guys?
Well, the number one issue that I hear from constituents, business owners is insurance, whether it's home, auto, or health. So this is something that has been tried and tried and tried. We have extremely high homeowners insurance rates here in this country. This state. Very high auto, and it's hard to live in Louisiana. It's not the most affordable state. Now, a lot of that has to do with where we are along the Gulf Coast. A big chunk of our population lives very south of I-10, I-12, right? And whenever hurricanes impact us, it has a direct impact on premiums. But there are certainly things that we can do from a policy standpoint, and we have done just over the last year to address home insurance costs. Auto, I think, is the next thing. We've got to figure out why we're a very litigious state. It seems like things typically cost more and they take longer, and that tends to go directly towards premiums.
Mm-hmm. It keeps insurance companies from wanting to come here.
That's why I keep inviting lawyers to come be entrepreneurs with me.
Right.
We got 4 law schools. We need to tone it down a little bit. Y'all come over on the business side.
That's right. And so in this upcoming session, I think you're going to see a lot of discussion on ways to address the insurance crisis.
So the special session last year there was the insurance.
That was towards the end of the year. That was a tax session. So all about tax reforming our tax code, making it less complicated, lowering personal income tax, which we did, lowering corporate income tax, which we did. We got rid of some pretty convoluted taxes out there. So the constitutional amendment did not pass. That would have really put the exclamation point on that session, although it did pass in St. Tammany Parish.
Okay, about to say we pushed that big time, St. Tammany Parish for
no,
sure.
it passed here. I did remind the governor the other day that it passed in St. Tammany and not in his home parish. He did not appreciate that comment. Yeah, little jab. St. Landry. Yeah. So, but that's all right. We're going to get back to the drawing board. People make their decisions, and that's the beauty of a democracy. And so we're going to get back to work.
Very cool. Very good. And I want to give one additional plug because I think you and I both think highly of this guy. How does it working next to Kim in the same parish as
Kim Carver?
Yeah.
Kim's a great human being. That's
fun.
He's a fun guy. He really is just a good human being. He's very faith driven. He's been somewhat of an inspiration for me in that regards in spirituality. A true servant, and just a really sweet guy too.
Yeah, it really is. I've had a really good time getting to know him over the last couple of years. He spoke at a couple of our events, and if I pick up the phone, either you and him, but get a call back shortly after or a text message.
So you're one of those text messages.
Oh
Jeez.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm definitely. I mean, with Kim too. I mean, I had a very specific question the other day, and he helped me find the answer to it pretty quickly. So
no, he's great.
He's a great guy. Yeah,
he's great. Great addition to St. Tammany delegation. He's already kind of become a floor leader for the speaker in his first year, which is what you want to see. People rising through the ranks pretty quickly, and he's. St. Tammany is in a great spot because Kim Carver's in the legislature.
I agree with that. You have anything you want to add before we hop off?
No, it's fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, enjoyed it too. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Patrick. Appreciate it, man.